as human beings, we're a little bit cursed, as in we are limited to what our experience gives us. That is, we have a hard time thinking beyond the bounds of our experience. This is how our thought processes form in the first place, is only through our experiences. Now, our parents, being the controlling bastards that they are, living in this barbaric society that we do, had a vested interest and definitely the capability to keep your will subjugated to their will when you were a child. What is rule number one? Well, deep down inside, you know what rule number one is. Of course, it's listen to mommy and daddy. You thought trying to convince people that the state was bullshit got you dirty looks. Wait until you try telling people that there should be no inherent obligation for a child to be subjugated to their parents. Boy, then will you get it. Anyway, back on track. So, your mind is kind of limited by your experiences. Now, what happened when you were a child and you violated your parents' silly personal preferences? Well, you got yelled at. You got disciplined. What happened when you pleased your parental units? Well, you got praised. You got rewarded. This praise, these rewards, cause dopamine to be associated with that particular action. And similarly, when you did something that pissed off your parents, dopamine's antonym chemical was released into your brain. Now mix those chemical associations, your limited experiences, and throw in some religious terminology, moral, good, bad, and voila, you have your inherent sense of morality skewing and masking what is reality. Now, why should you give up this silly morality business anyway, besides your interest in truth? Well, as with all skewed perceptions of reality, it hinders you personally. It gets in the way of your success. It hinders your happiness and the pursuit thereof. It is always easiest to satisfy your preferences if you have a calm, sober appreciation for reality. But not only does it hinder you, it hinders anarchy and the movement in general. Just as an example, look at these stupid tax protesters. Now, don't get me wrong, I do not think you should be paying your taxes. Look at these idiots who send letters to the IRS. Hey, it's not actually a law that we have to pay our taxes. Who get sent to jail and shot up or whatever if they resist because they were stupid enough to make a moral stand. Now let me ask you something. What stupid, hindering things are you doing because of your silly morality? And I'm sure there are a bunch of them. It's clouding your judgment. Do you really think that making a stand, standing up for what's right, is actually helping you achieve your goal? What the fuck good are you doing if you're sitting in a jail cell or sitting in a grave? I submit none. And even if you were somehow doing good from the grave or the jail cell, who the fuck cares? You're in jail or you're dead. There's no God to give you a pat on the back. Although I'm sure that's what you want because that's what your daddy and your mommy did. But I feel liberty would be much better served if you were to take a cold, calm, sober look at the society in which we live and figure out how to navigate it most successfully, therefore giving yourself and your message the most leverage. Between giving up God, government, and morality, the cessation of belief in morality has by far been the most beneficial and the most clarifying to my mind personally. Now when I'm interacting with others, and I'm in a social situation, do not think, what is moral, what is immoral? Oh, I must be honest, because that is the moral thing to do. I, I think about what is most appropriate in that social situation. If lying to someone about how they look on that particular day, for example, benefits both me and their psyche, why not? Some good your morality is. I don't get laid because I feel the need to be honest. Oh, I've seen you look better. And, well, they feel kind of upset because I just told them that they've looked better. It is time to finally give up this morality business. Sometimes outsiders see it best. Just as when a minarchist argues a Republican or Democrat, and that Democrat exposes that minarchist to the dissonance, saying, "Oh, you should be an anarchist," and they argue, "No, I'm not an anarchist, I'm a minarchist." Or just when a theist argues, "Oh, there is no morality without God," they're right. I mean, morality is not the hardest concept to debunk. Although it was the last thing I gave up, it was the first thing I had the opportunity or the thought of giving up. I remember when I was just a junior in high school, before I barely thought critically about anything, God, the state. I sat down, the first time I sat down and thought about what exactly makes something right or wrong. I came to the conclusion that there was no such thing as right or wrong. That was bullshit, but of course that was all too radical for me, so I said, "Oh, I must be wrong here," and then I guess luckily or unluckily, I guess, I started down the road to libertarianism. So in conclusion, stop believing in morality. It's stupid, and it's bad for you. Good night, thanks for having a listen.